It is a rare and spectacular art form. Danger is its calling card.
One little mistake can be your last mistake.
Daring is its character.
A wire walker's worst enemy is probably fear.
Balance is its requirement. And gravity, its friend or foe.
You must have a little bit luck. When you got not luck, it can fall everywhere.
Few breathe the air up here. Welcome to the world of extreme aerialists. Who are these bold skywalkers?
Crazy. They are crazy people. They are crazy. Let's face it.
Crazy or not, these are inspired daredevils who captivate us at breathtaking heights, risking certain death. To dance on air. Meet Tino Wallenda, leader of the world-famous Flying Wallendas. In the rarefied world of aerialists, he's royalty. Tino has the blood of 400 years of circus performers pumping through his veins.
Okay, let me have the other shackle there, too.
And now at the Ypsilanti Heritage Festival,
Go ahead.
Tino will take 2 tons of raw metal and wire and engineer it into an elegant platform where one of the world's most dangerous stunts will be performed. The 7-person pyramid.
You guys can let go.
7 Wallendas will balance one on top of another while standing on that single strand of 7/8-inch wire. And this won't be just any 7-person pyramid, but one that will include Tino's 14-year-old son, Alex.
First time I went on the wire to practice was at 3. First time I actually started on the high wire was at 7. Well, there is pressure because you have to live up to the old family standards. You don't want the act to look sloppy because all the previous generations did it so well, so you want to at least hold up the family name.
If successful, Alex will continue to be the youngest person ever to perform in a 7-person pyramid.
Yeah, wait a minute, Alex. Flag her off again.
He's my son, so unfortunately, I put a lot more pressure on him.
Now, flag it some more, Alex.
My expectations of him are a lot higher than even anybody else. So I just expect him to do the right thing automatically, naturally.
Yeah.
Often I'm a little bit too critical, but those are my kids up there. I don't want to see them be hurt in any way.
The Wallendas have performed in rare air for nearly a century, facing both acclaim and tragedy. Tino's grandfather, Karl Wallenda, first brought the act from Germany in 1928. In the 1940s, Karl created the first 7-person pyramid. It was considered one of the most difficult high-wire acts ever. Even a practice risked disaster.
Watch it. Boom.
The Wallendas all survived this accident. But during a 1962 performance in Detroit, the pyramid's lead man faltered.
He shouted, I can't hold it anymore.
But a wire walker can count on luck for only so long. Karl's final step came in March of 1978, at the age of 73.
He was walking between 2 buildings in San Juan, Puerto Rico. About halfway across, the wire began moving violently under his feet. He sat down on the wire, but the pole lifted up, knocked him on the side, grasping the wire only with one hand. And so he went down 120 feet and lost his life.
Finally, the rig is finished, and it's time for the first rehearsal.
Okay, you guys ready?
32.
Alex,
Yes.
pay attention to what we're doing here now. We're only going to do 6 to get our positions.
We're ready.
The Wallendas did not perform the 7-person pyramid for many years after the tragedy in Detroit. But in 1998, Tino felt confident enough to bring it back to the act. Nevertheless, it's been months since they've last performed it. Tino wants to take it slow, attempting only a 6-person pyramid for now.
Ready. 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 Go.
Building the pyramid is a truly delicate balance of communication and concentration.
Good. Wire shaking. One step. Go. Yep, I'm way on the front of the cut. Good.
Easy out. Go.
Come in.
With the wire set at 10 feet, a mistake here could cause serious injuries, but would probably not be fatal.
Not too fast.
But at showtime, the wire will be raised to 25 feet. At that height, one wrong move could cost 7 people their lives.
Watch it. Stop.
The thing that I have to guard against is that it doesn't become too lackadaisical. It has to be something where we realize that there is a potential for danger. As Dave is moving, you need to be moving. You can't wait for him to step. You have to move with him. And you need to watch his foot. As soon as you see his foot move, you need to be going. Because I can't see what's going on. I can only follow. We need to keep our attention on that trick because it all counts when we're out there in the middle. Are we out of step? We got it back.
With only 2 days to go until the festival, the Flying Wallendas need a lot more practice,
Watch it.
ever aware of their deadly past. Rope walking is known from many of the world's cultures, but it is believed to have originated over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece. Such feats of balance became hugely popular during the Middle Ages, until outlawed by the clergy. It wasn't until the French Revolution that funambulists, or rope walkers, again began to thrill audiences. The most famous rope walker of the 19th century was Jean-François Gravillet, otherwise known as the Great Blondin. He became an international sensation as the first man to walk across Niagara Falls in 1859.
And the thing which is quite interesting that he crossed on one direction and he came back on the other direction with a crazy guy on his shoulder. I mean, a sort of kamikaze. And he crossed with the guy on his shoulder, which I would never do with the best highway walker in the world.
In the 20th century, wire walkers were attracted by a new challenge: skyscrapers. In 1974, Philippe Petit captured the world's imagination when he walked between the twin towers of the World Trade Center. Despite the high winds at 1,300 feet, Petit made it across and was promptly arrested.
Why did you do this? There is no why. It's just because when I see a beautiful place to put my wire, I cannot resist.
Walking a high wire between the World Trade Center and stop in the middle and juggle 3 clubs and go the other way is still alive. That's the greatest metaphor of what a human being can do.
Yeah, let's go in.
Back on solid ground, Tino Wallenda has decided it's time to raise the platforms and begin practicing the 7-person pyramid at the show height of 25 feet.
There we go. Go ahead.
This means the wire will be almost 3 stories high, with the person on top of the pyramid standing at nearly 4 stories above the ground.
Well, certainly it's more dangerous because of the height involved, but psychologically is really where it's at. We can do it at 10 feet, we can do it at 25 feet. But psychologically, you know there's more danger. That's where your chess game with your head starts.
As Tino and his crew raise the wire, they have little hint of the extraordinary events that are about to take place. Events that will test the spirit of all the flying Wallendas. Science is trying to unlock some of the mystery as to why risk-takers like extreme aerialists do what they do. At the UCLA Neuropsychiatry Institute in Los Angeles, Dr. Ernest Noble has been studying the genetic makeup of people who like to take risks.
When they're walking on these high wires, their brain is putting out a neurotransmitter called dopamine. It acts on certain centers and it gives you pleasure. Risk takers, we found out in studies of their brain, have fewer dopamine receptors in pleasure areas. So they have to keep taking risk to saturate these receptors, to flood those receptors with dopamine to feel pleasure. They come alive only when they're taking these kind of risk-taking behaviors.
The flying Wallendas may be the perfect example of how risk-taking runs in the family. Children, grandchildren, spouses, and friends, everyone gets in on the act. Even their 12 dogs get a piece of the action.
Get down and not over.
And there aren't many 14-year-olds who can say they're part of a world-famous circus act.
We never dreamed that he would be ready at this time because it's only like within a year that he's grown and became a man overnight almost. So we're kind of pleased. There's something smoking.
In the middle of our interview, an electrical fire suddenly breaks out in the Wallenda trailer. No people were in the trailer, but 4 family dogs perished in the blaze.
Oh, my babies.
It's a tragedy for the Wallendas, and Tino takes it especially hard.
That's all right, honey. We're okay. Nobody's hurt. That's the main thing. Main thing.
The next day, all the Wallendas are in shock.
We all went and tried to do what we could to put the fire out and to save dogs, but unfortunately we didn't do either one. We lost dogs, which was our main loss, and we lost the trailer.
Me and my dad jumped in the trailer to try to get as many of the dogs out as we could, and there was stuff like debris falling from the roof that was hitting us, so got a couple burns here and here, 2 second-degree burns, and I got 2 first-degree burns here. Yeah, I'll be okay holding the pole because it burnt all the nerve endings in my hand where it burnt, so I'm feeling no pain, but next week I'll probably be feeling some.
Slowly, life goes on. There are costumes to recover and photos to salvage.
I don't know. These are dry. These are from yesterday. These should be fine.
Soon, Tino is back to work on the rig and worried about his 7-person pyramid.
Now we're up against the wire here trying to get ready for a 6 o'clock show and do some kind of rehearsal. But the saying goes over and over again that the show goes on, and that's the truth. It's not anything glamorous, it's not anything wonderful. It's just life goes on and so the show goes on.
The troupe may need another rehearsal, but the weather service is predicting thunderstorms, and the rig is starting to look like a giant lightning rod.
Lightning is something that you don't want to be on a wire on. Right now, I think it's at enough of a distance that we can deal with it, but the sooner we can do this, the better. It'll give everybody a little bit more confidence. Under the circumstances, I think it'll help us all.
The rehearsal is off, and the 7-person pyramid is looking more and more in doubt. There's little else they can do but wait and hope. The rain finally lets up.
How's that platform? Is it dry now?
But there's no extra time to squeeze in a rehearsal of the 7-person pyramid.
That's circus life. You're down, you're up. Gotta keep going. If you feel good, you feel bad. It was windy, it's not windy. The real performer says that there's an audience out there and we owe them the best that we can.
With the crowd beginning to form, Tino wants to review the show plan.
The wire's going to be first routine. All your poles are getting in orders. And then we're going to do the bicycle chair in the middle. You're going to do the 7. Everybody's comfortable with 7 without any rehearsal. Okay, let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the peace you've given us, the talents, the abilities.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me welcome you here this afternoon to the Flying Wallendas.
Are you nervous about going on the wire?
No, not really. Worried about my juggling.
Alex is the first out to warm up the audience. But he just can't seem to find his groove. If Tino's worried about Alex, he's not showing it.
Alessandro!
Alex is rattled by his poor performance.
You know, we didn't have much time to rehearse, so I've got to give a little instruction up there. All the poles are lined up exactly
The Wallendas begin the ascent to the wire for the main event of the show.
All right, up at the top platform, he's our youngest child and our only son, and this is Alex. We'd like to take you high in the air with the Flying Wallendas.
From their first step on the wire, Tino realizes there are problems.
Oh, we forgot to swap poles here, didn't we? We're not doing it the easy way.
Our microphone picks up comments that the audience cannot hear.
Move up, Dave. Keep going, a little tighter. Left leg. Left, yeah. The Wallendas salute you.
On his next trick, Tino faces more serious problems.
Can't find the notch. I checked the notch before I came out. That's funny. Sorry, guys. I gotta move it. I don't know where the stupid notch is. Here we go.
Now, Tino's youngest daughter will attempt to perch atop his shoulders in the classic Wallenda 4-person pyramid. The climax of the show is the world's most famous and deadly aerial stunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wallenda 7-person pyramid. Positions? All right, gentlemen and lady, let's feel our way across on this one, okay? All the way out. Go!
But just as the pyramid begins to move,
probably gonna stop
it starts to rain again.
unless I change my mind. Slow down. Watch it. Halt. Positions. All the way in. Go.
One step.
Go. Good job, guys. I was a little bit anxious about this, mainly because everybody's a little bit stressed out because of the fire. And the rain, the storms, trying to set up, all of the stress of the day. When we get to the showtime, everything went together.
After the show, Tino, Alex, and the other Wallendas mix it up with the audience.
Thank you.
Most everyone can't wait to meet them. Alex seems to have especially impressed some of the younger female members of the audience.
How old are you? 15.
So you guys like...
Yes, it is a great way to meet people, especially, someone you want to be more than a friend with. Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah. This is like my third time. Yeah.
On Daddy?
Circus families are strong families because we live together, we perform together, we train together. Fortunately, we have a family that seems like we enjoy each other's company and love each other.
The Wallendas and their 7-person pyramid. A stunt that puts them in the pantheon of the world's greatest extreme aerialists. The boldness and audacity of Falco Traber. The beauty of Sung Tien. The comic genius of Belonak. The speed and daring of Los Quiros. All masters of a mysterious profession that continues to hold audiences breathless.
Entertain your brain anytime when you log on to Discovery.com. Coming up on Monster Garage, Jesse and the crew build a donut-dispensing police cruiser. Will the sugar high slow down these spitfighters of crime? See for yourself, next.